What's going on, everyone? Jack here from Hapgrim. This is the Holystone HS360E. That E is actually really important because it means this drone has electronic image stabilization. There is no gimbal here. Now, I think the camera is probably the most important thing you can put on a drone, so we're going to talk about what that means for this. Now, if you're new to the channel, I do honest reviews. So if you came here wanting to hear all good things about this drone, that's not what we're doing here. I'm going to tell you the good, I'm going to tell you the bad, and I'm going to tell you the ugly. Because I want you to be able to make the best decision for you. It's your hard-earned cash. You don't want to be throwing it out the window. So let's talk about what I have here. Now, as you can see here, this is a Holystone drone, and it comes in this nice carrying case. You get a foldable drone, an extra battery, the remote, a charger, and some extra cords, instruction manuals. This is a nice little strap for the case. So, decent little package, and Holystone does a nice job of putting things together for you. Now, this drone is less than 250 grams, which means you do not have to register with the FAA. If you did, it would cost you $5. Not a big deal, but it's a hassle that a lot of people don't want to go through. Plus, because it's less than 250 grams, it is not subject to remote ID. That's a law that passed that basically means all drones must have a digital license plate unless they're under 250 grams. Now, other important specs, this has a range of almost 4 miles. Now, no, you're not going to be able to fly it 4 miles away, and that is for the controlling. So that is for being able to use this controller under perfect conditions. So let's just call it half of that. Let's just say, we'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Let's say it's 2 miles away. Well, you have to be able to see your drone at all times, so you're not getting 2 miles away. Plus, that is just for the feedback to this. The picture isn't going to last that long either, so you know, it's not as far as it sounds, but it is pretty good, which means you're not going to get breakup and you can kind of fly with a good sense of security. I never had any issues with this thing in terms of range. Another one of those specs that almost sounds too good to be true is 30 minutes of flight time on one of these batteries, and again, that's under perfect conditions, so you're probably looking closer to 20, maybe 25 if you're really kind of babying this and there's no wind outside. Now, it does have a 4K camera, but it's not just about the specs, it's about how that camera performs, sensor size. There's a whole lot of stuff that goes into that. It's a decent camera, and that E, remember that E, it means electronic image stabilization. So there is no real gimbal on this thing. Actually, I don't even know why we have a gimbal guard. It really isn't totally necessary because this thing's not really flopping around. It is on isolation dampeners. But the picture kind of gets stabilized a little bit electronically, so it's not super shaky, it's not jittery like some of those drones out there, but it's also not going to be buttery smooth. You will get some vibrations, we call that jello in the drone world, because it's not a real gimbal, and these isolation dampeners can only do so much, especially if you're moving at high speeds or in heavy wind. Now, this drone retails for $300, and at $300, that's absolutely ridiculous. I would absolutely not recommend this thing at $300. There are a handful of really good drones like the DJI Mini 4K or the Specta Mini that are hands down better, and they're actually a little bit less than $300. If that was the case, go for one of those. But they did send me a coupon code at 50% off, and at $150, you know, you don't really find a whole lot that's much better than this. Holystone's other company, WePhone, makes a drone that's right around that price point that's pretty good. And that drone is actually just a copy of the L200, which is about $100. That might be a better option than this. Anyway, I'll let you take a look at the pictures and video coming out of this thing, and you can kind of decide for yourself, is it the quality that you're looking for? Also, I'll play around with some of those flight modes, and you can kind of see how they work and how they don't. So here we have some decent video. I'm going to start with some good video. Nice little rise shot, taking a look at the pond at the local park here. You know, looks okay. Image stabilization's doing a decent job here. Here we're flying over some water. Yes, you can fly over water. You're going to pick up some of the shakes and jitters coming up here as I rise up over this tree. I think, he's still doing a decent job of the image stabilization. You see a little bit of the crooked horizon though, and that's just something that happens here. I'm testing out the slow mode, slowed it down to half speed because it's 60 frames a second. Now here it's quarter speed, and I think it just gets a little bit jittery. Yeah, I'm having a little bit of fun. I do like, the droney mode. I think that's a good one. Got some nice little sun flares there. Looks okay, but image stabilization electronic, it does have some flaws. This is the hyperlapse. I don't know that it really was a hyperlapse. I feel like it just kind of sped up the footage rather than actually took photos and stitched them together. But either way, it does basically the same effect. Now let's take a look at some of the different flight modes that we have. Some of the more popular ones, one being Follow Me. And this is the GPS-based Follow Me where, you kind of get the drone up in position and then it's just going to follow the remote. And it really kind of struggles. I'm showing you the app view. Yes, the video view is a little cleaner, but you can kind of see what I see, and I'm trying to line myself up. And what I don't like about this mode is it just doesn't give me full control over the drone and how I want to position it while I'm flying. And you can't do that in any of the flight modes. It's kind of bizarre. I can manipulate the altitude and I can manipulate the gimbal, and that's basically it. Now here, towards the end here, I kind of got it where I wanted to follow me, but it's not perfect. There is also a optical follow where you draw a picture around a box, and it just doesn't work. I've tried it on a handful of drones in this price range, and it just hasn't worked on any of them, and that's what I found with this one as well. Just, if you want Follow Me, you got to use the remote. It's not going to work otherwise. Some of the other flight modes, you've got the Orbit, which is a good one. You got to kind of set things up in the app, where, how big do you want that radius and things like that. So not as intuitive as some of the other ones where, what I would love is to just kind of set my subject and then orbit from there. You kind of have to plan things out, and then it kind of does a song and dance, and then it eventually will start to do the orbit that you're looking for. So it's not ideal. Now this drone, it's sold by Holystone. Holystone doesn't make any drones. I'm pretty sure this one here, there's the orbit, it's going finally. I'm pretty sure this drone is made by MJX. Could be SJRC, but I'm pretty sure it's MJX. Now here, you're going to see the EIS struggle as you get it higher, at higher altitudes, or in higher winds, descending. It's gonna struggle, right? It's not a gimbal. It's not a perfect camera. It is certainly not professional grade. So kind of know that, right? At $150 as a tool to learn, yeah, this is a really good beginner drone. But it certainly isn't perfect, and this camera, all over the place, right? It's really struggling to find the horizon. Now, that said, that really matters if you're taking pictures, and the pictures on this thing, not half bad, right? We got some good greens. Is it oversaturated middle a little bit? Maybe, but the pictures are going to turn out a-okay if that's what you're looking for. Beginner drone, sure. Professional, absolutely not. So what do you think? At $150, it's okay. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. Are there better options out there? You bet. Are there things that are much worse? Also true. So I'll let you decide. It's your hard-earned cash. You can figure out if it is something that you're looking for. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Good luck, everyone, and happy flying.